Hi guys, my name is Simon Todd. I am the creative force behind Monty Dots Limited. I'm here to give you another video about more details about the brand new role-playing game called The End of Kings. This is going to be kick-started shortly, and on this occasion I will be dealing with creating characters themselves. If you can see, if you've seen the other videos, you'll notice that the picture of me talking is slightly smaller. Hopefully that'll enable you to see more of the pages that I'm going to be showing you in this video. This is a copy of the actual contents of the book, so that's what it's going to look like. It's got this lovely parchment colouring on it. Anyway, so if you look on the right hand side with table 1 on page 9, you can see that a character is made out of these attributes. Attributes are different types of statistic that enable you to build up a picture of the character itself. And like in a lot of role-playing games, they form strength, constitution, which is toughness, dexterity, which is agility, intelligence, power. Some role-playing games have them as wisdom, and then there's charisma. With constitution, toughness, the same dice roll that you roll for constitution is going to be used for your health points. Those health points stay the same for the entire existence of your character. The only time they change is if the character's injured, or if sometimes temporarily they're given more health points through magic of some sort. Power is similar. You roll the 3d6 for power, and that same number is used for the amount of magic points you've got, and this is whether you're a spellcaster or not. If you are a spellcaster, this is your basic reservoir that you use to be able to cast your spells. Each of the spells that you're going to cast is going to use up some of that energy. Again, I'm not going to go into more details about that because I'll reserve the use of spells for another video. Charisma, mostly about persuasion and how attractive you are rather than just how nice you look, so they're slightly different from each other. From these, you'll notice that there are the dice roll used, for instance, for trauma resistance is power. So the same dice roll you use for power, in this case times 4. So if I roll 10 for power, I would multiply it by 4 to get 40, and that will be the percentage of my trauma resistance. Trauma is looking at things that are just too scary for you to deal with. If you've made the resistance checks, then your reaction to this is much milder. If you fail it, then drop everything you've got, run away, hide, seek a priest, all that sort of stuff. If you're encountering something very mild, or if you're encountering something that you've seen many times before, then the check can be completely ignored, or the actual multiplier for the score can be built up a bit more. So if you've seen quite a few dead bodies, then you might roll power times 6 or something like that to see. So your target, if you've got 10 power, it might be 60% instead of 40%. Spell resistance is your reaction against spell-like powers that have been affecting you directly. So if somebody else has cast a spell on you, or some fairy of some sort has tried to create a charm effect that will be affecting you, then you have a spell resistance. The degree of power of that spell that's been thrown at you will affect the multiplier of this. So usually with most spells it's power times 3, so you've got a 30% spell resistance chance. There are all sorts of ways of changing this. You can create have charms created that will increase the amount of multiplier of a spell resistance, for instance. I'm not going to go into huge details about that. Perception and spell casting speed are using the same number again. So in this case you've got intelligence and power added together, you halve the result, multiply that result by 5, and that's a percentage. So that percentage score is your perception. Now perception is if the game master knows that the characters themselves can notice something but the players haven't mentioned it, then the game master can allow all the players to maybe roll a percentage check to see if the characters notice something, and then the game master can volunteer that fresh piece of information. If it's vital to the plot, the game master can fudge those rolls or even ignore the whole thing and just tell them. But that's just a mechanic if you need it. Spellcasting speed: where in the round, in a combat round, does a spell get triggered? So what you've got there is the base speed. So you might have something like a 45% base speed for spell casting, and the spell takes about 20 seconds to cast as well. So you can you change that number to make sure that that spell is cast at the right time in the round. I'll go into a combat round in another video and how all that works, so I don't want to make things too complicated. Balance is, as it suggests, a physical thing, but it's also your reaction speed or your initiative. So if you're casting a spell, then you're using the spell casting speed. If you're doing anything else in a combat style round, then you're going to use this number, which is dexterity times 5. And finally, influence. Influence is an optional. So for instance, if you've turned up to a pub and you don't have the right money, or somebody's stolen all your money but you still need a room for the night, perhaps you can go to the landlord and say, can I have a room for the night? I'll clean out your cellars, get rid of the rats, and maybe sort out the barn for you. And then it's up to the landlord as to whether he trusts you, and you might volunteer to say, right, I'm going to roll an influence check to see if the landlord is convinced. There is an alternative in these skills called oratory. You can, as a player, basically say, I'm going to use oratory on this one, particularly because with skills you can actually build up your ability with skills. So you can increase your percentage check when you're using oratory, but you can't do that with influence. Okay. Anyway, so that's all the character attributes. We're going to move on now. And the main part of this is the step-by-step guide. Again, it's a frame from the actual book. Obviously I'm blocking part of the start of this on the left hand side by me over there. Look. Step-by-step guide to creating a character. I'm not going to go through all this, it will be crazy, you get bored. Maybe you're bored already, I hope you're not. But I will point out to you there's table 2 here, and this is a vital part of creating a character, and it's called social status. Where do you belong in the ranks of society? Whether you like it or not in the real world, in the game world, and certainly in reality in the 17th century, whether you were a commoner or whether you were a member of the nobility, whether you were a yeoman, that is the class that owned things but didn't have any blue blood in their veins, it did matter, and it will affect your chances, it will affect your opportunities. So this can be randomly rolled using a percentage dice, or you can approach the game master and say, can I play a yeoman or can I play a vagabond? And the game master might go, sure, just go for it. If I was asked as a game master by somebody, can I play a member of the nobility, I'd probably listen to what they had in mind in terms of a backstory before saying yes, but I wouldn't rule it out completely. You could randomly roll that you're a member of the nobility, but it certainly brings with it its own challenges, which might follow you around in the game, and that's always making it more fun. Okay, so that's the step-by-step guide. The reason why I've shrunk that picture down of me talking from previous videos is hopefully so you can see more of this. I hope you can. So certainly in the box on the top left hand side on the left hand sheet, you can see that there's name, class, secondary occupation, religion, social status. You put all those details down there. All the attributes that you rolled using your 3d6 and then using those attributes to build up the others, they're on the right hand side under character attributes. Beneath that, health points, they'll go up and down during the game. Magic points do the same. Armor rating on the left hand side, I'm not going to talk too much about that in this video. Same with the weapon and combat details at the bottom, but the fact that they're all here, during the game, it's more than likely that you'll probably spend half an hour playing the game and every so often just quickly glance down at these sheets. The right hand side of this is much more used. These are all the skills that you've got available, and I've split them up into all the prime attributes: strength, dexterity, power, intelligence, constitution and charisma, and then I separate out the combat ones because they sometimes use dexterity, they sometimes use strength, but when people are in a combat situation, it's far simpler for you to have all the combat skills available to you all at once. I'm not going to go into details about how the skills work. We're going to save that for another video. Okay. Finally, with this video, I'm just going to go a little bit into when you're generating a character. You're going to start off with a massive amount of skill points to share among all the skills, and each class will have what are called the prime attributes that are associated with that class. So for instance, a soldier would be primarily about strength and constitution, and also being a soldier, they would have their skills which they'll mostly focus on, and those skills could be firearms, long blade, short blade. I haven't split it down to individual weapons, and I think that's quite important because long blades, you generally use them the same way depending on what name they have. Short blades, and they come in a wide variety, all the way from a dagger up to a short sword, or in this game a hanger sword. They'll be used roughly in the same way. So I haven't been that specific about it. So in other game systems you have what are called weapon proficiencies and non-weapon proficiencies. In this game they're all just skills. Okay, and beneath those you've got the strength and the dexterity modifiers that are going to be applied when you're creating the character. I hope that has given you an idea of how the character is created. If you've got any questions, please contact me or message me on the YouTube and I'll be able to help you. In the meantime, we've still got loads of videos to go. Certainly I need to do one on skills, certainly one I need to do one on spells. But remember, this is a Kickstarter and I think it's going to be launched very, very soon. 300 pages of fabulousness, and it's all going to be ready for you to play, including an adventure at the back of the book. So have a good day, and I'll talk to you soon where we'll be dealing with skills and spells. Okay, bye for now.